Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? Otaku Builder here with a message to tell you guys thank you so much for the 10,000 subscribers. Sorry if I'm really winded and tired. It's been a pretty busy weekend trying to get a simple video tutorial up and, with personal life things coming in. But I just want to take this time to say thank you so much for the likes and shares and comments. They really mean a lot to me. So it was late 2017. I just finished uploading my very first two YouTube videos, and all of a sudden Bandai drops this bombshell that, hey, we're going to release another Perfect Grade, but it's going to be one of those Perfect Grades that you would never expect it would happen. And it was none other than the Perfect Grade Millennium Falcon. And I told myself, not only am I going to build this kit, but I'm going to put all the bells and whistles. I'm going to make it as authentic to the movie quality as possible and not pay attention to anyone else's interpretations on what they perceive what they would want the Millennium Falcon want to look. I just wanted to do something that was nice. So my biggest challenge when it came to recording the Millennium Falcon, I had no form of an authentic camera. I was using my old Samsung Galaxy Edge Plus, which was like stuck with 65 gigs of memory. And I told myself, if I'm going to do something, I'm just going to rock out with that and just pray everything looks good. Put that sucker on the highest resolution, hit play, and then just went into town. Once that was done, I then made it into a 3-part episode series to see if people were interested in. And look to my surprise, people were. Although I got criticized so heavily on it, everything down to that particular thruster should be a little bit more smokier or dustier, or the one that I 100% agree, you should have used primer. I didn't do that with that kit, and I don't feel too bad. Things worked out, but for someone that is starting to gain some form of popularity, and people tend to look at that individual for some feedback, I think it's very important to really do the proper steps. And that was the one thing I wanted to do. Not only I was going to create some form of content, but I was going to create some form of content in which that would encourage people that were hesitant to buy Perfect Grades to now either buy it or take it to the next level. So my number one goal was to talk to tons of photographers. No one big, no one popular, just guys that actually know and understand proper positioning and staging and lighting. And I ran into like 2 well-known photographers that I still talk to today on Instagram. It literally took about a year to get a grasp on how to properly understand how to use the ISO and the camera, lighting and balancing. The next challenge was learning how to do color painting. So I had to learn how to do pre-shadowing, I had to learn how to do proper color theory, because everything I learned back in college, which my major was in game art and design, I had to implement that into model kits, and it worked out beautifully. Granted, there were some bumpy roads because everyone found the fascination of me using can versus an airbrush, and I've replied to every comment even today. I like to use both mediums. There's nothing wrong with that, but some people will find some form to just criticizing on that. That's fine. So I did some digging around Amazon.com, found a simple LED lighting set, and I put that into the USS Franklin from Star Trek Beyond, and it worked great, but the lights weren't bright. It needed like 8 batteries to turn on all the LED lights. It just wasn't practical, and there was no way I was going to make a video tutorial on how to install lights into something like this that is so power hungry. So I did even more digging, and I told myself, you know what, there is a lot of well-designed dioramas out there from like train sets. Is there like a distributor that makes those? And luck to my surprise, I came across someone called Evans Designs, and since then they have changed my perspective of how I want to install LED lights on every model kit I've made. So I got to thinking, I don't want to do a Gundam kit because that will just demand tons of people asking a lot of questions. Why don't I focus my energy on a model kit that definitely hasn't gotten any kind of representation at all, but still has a strong fan base? And that's when I worked on the Zone of the Enders Jehudi model kit from Kotobukiya. And this was an absolute treat to build because this is still my all-time favorite mech. It's beautifully colored, it's very well designed, and it always bummed me out that there wasn't any like proper figurine or model kit that actually had a functioning LED light system. And I wanted to take it to the next step. And this was my first baby. And because of this model kit has spawned many upon many videos and tons of speed builds of this. And this is still my favorite mech design of all time. It's still very much, I mean, granted, I love Virtual On, but come on. I mean, the cockpit is a bit questioning though, but yeah. Now, granted, that video, it did okay, and I can personally look at it right now that there's some issues with it, with pretty much with lighting. But ever since then, I've made it my goal to buy a model kit that I personally like and install some form of LED lights into it, big or small. And since then, I've been on an up and up. You guys like the videos, you've liked the content that I put out, and you know, I'm gonna keep pushing the envelope because this is something I really want to turn into like a secondary job. I find it absolutely satisfying. And it's thanks to the good people at newtypehq.com that really notice, you know, my hard work. Granted, I don't know if you guys use the promo codes, but for those that do, thank you so much. Because the reality of it is, even if I wasn't sponsored by New Type HQ, I still would continue on making the content for you guys to enjoy and be just really relaxed and listening to the music, because that's the one thing I really want to do with these videos is create something that's engaging, inspiring, but at the same time relaxing to listen to. And that could be everything to like chiptunes music, to orchestral scores, which I absolutely love as a kid, to maybe some electronical or techno, maybe some hip hop here and there. You know, I mean, personally, I love old school hip hop, but something that just resonates with other people, and that's always been my target goal. So, 10,000. Would love to see 50,000 in the next years to come, because it's thanks to you, the fans, on YouTube and Instagram that have been following me for the last 4 years, especially on Instagram. I wouldn't be here today. And it's thanks to you as well as my family, the people that have been looking out for me for many years. My aunt and my father, Valerie King and Jay King, have been such huge role models in my life. Val particularly has been the mother figure I had never had. You know, my father is an incredible man. He worked 2 jobs to provide for me when I was little. You know, if there's anything I would love to give those to, I mean, not for me, but if that opportunity does come up next year or in 2 years, I would love to give like that YouTube plaque to those 2 guys, because they have been such a huge part of my life, and I am forever so grateful for you guys' support. I mean, thank you guys. But most importantly, it is my love of my life. Babe, you know how I feel about you. You know, there's so many things that can happen in one's life, whether it's financial challenges, stress, health issues, and it just takes that one person that just can fix those broken pieces in one's life and bring you whole. And this woman is incredible. And she's my best friend. We've known each other for, it's going to be 20 plus years in 2020, next year. And, man, babe, thank you for being a part of my life. I truly do mean that. So yeah, Big 10. Hopefully I can hit the big 50 before the year is over, but that's thinking too big. That's thinking too big. But here's some more content. Here's to creating more videos and introducing to you guys model kits that you guys have never heard of. I would love to do more videos like this in the future. I feel like this is a good way for me to connect to you guys all. And until then, I'll catch you dudes on the next video. Later.